On the day of our daughter Natalie's piano recital, my husband Nicholas had to go on a business trip to Boston. I had been suspicious of his behavior lately, thinking he might be cheating, and then Natalie mischievously recorded a conversation Nicholas was having on the phone. Listening with a mix of anticipation and anxiety, I was shocked by the raw conversation.
Let's love each other a lot. Yeah, I want to be with you soon, too. But my wife won't agree to a divorce. Of course, the only one I love is you, Charlotte.
I became so filled with anger and emptiness that I couldn't think of anything. Choosing a trip with his mistress over Natalie's recital? Is he even a father? A fierce anger surged within me, heating my body. Fine, then I'll give you a divorce. But you'll pay dearly for betraying me and Natalie. I'm Eva, a 28-year-old housewife. I live with my husband Nicholas, who is 5 years older, and our daughter Natalie, who goes to kindergarten. After graduating from junior college, I joined my current company as a new graduate and met Nicholas there. Nicholas, leading the product development team as the team leader, was reliable and charming. Eventually, Nicholas confessed his feelings, and we started dating. The next year, I found out I was pregnant. Nicholas was overjoyed when I told him, and his parents were welcoming, saying, "We're delighted such a young woman is becoming our son's wife." We received congratulations from my parents and everyone at work and had a grand wedding. However, the happiness didn't last long. As soon as Natalie was born, Nicholas and his parents showed their true colors.
What? A girl?
Those were the words of father-in-law Tyler, who rushed to the maternity hospital after I gave birth. "I hoped for a healthy heir from someone so young. Disappointing indeed." And these were mother-in-law Katrina's words. "Eva, if you want to be recognized as Nicholas's wife, you better give birth to a boy soon."
Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. I'll do better next time.
The in-laws came uninvited, complained, and then left. I was beyond angry, just astonished. I mean, I'm the one giving birth, right? Heirs? We're just an ordinary salary man's family, aren't we? I had many things I wanted to say, but I swallowed them all, not wanting to make a scene. Oh well, so this is the true nature of the in-laws and Nicholas. My worries grew as Nicholas, not even looking at newborn Natalie properly, indulged in mobile games on the sofa. The next day, I received a message from Nicholas's sister, Mary. It had been since our wedding that I had talked to Mary. I heard from Nicholas that the baby was born safely. I thought it would be bothersome to barge into the hospital, so I'll send a baby gift to your house. I immediately replied with a thank you message. She seemed like a considerate person, unlike the in-laws and Nicholas, which was a relief. Returning home after a month-long postnatal stay, I found cute baby clothes and a stuffed animal, so I quickly called to thank her. As we continued to exchange messages, Mary and I became close, and after Natalie started attending the child care center, meeting up with Mary for chats became my break. Nicholas left all the household chores to me, even though I was working full-time. Before marriage, he played the understanding husband, saying,
"If Eva wants to continue working, I'll support her, and I'll help with the housework."
But he suddenly changed his attitude. Worse yet, Nicholas couldn't even take care of himself properly. He left plates on the dining table after meals, scattered shirts and socks on the floor, and his figure sprawled on the couch in sweats, fiddling with his mobile phone, was like that of a giant child. "Papa, you have to put your clothes in the laundry basket in the bathroom."
"Shut up. Don't talk to me. You made me mess up."
Natalie, scolded by Nicholas, sadly walked away from him. "Hey, Nicholas, can you hang the laundry if you're free?"
"That's a woman's job. My mom did all the housework properly. Unlike you, a housewife, I don't have the time."
Then Nicholas said in a tone as if he was disgusted,
"Every housewife does household chores perfectly. If you can't manage the house, why not quit your job? There are plenty of people who can replace you, Eva."
His last words pierced my heart. Indeed, Unlike being a wife or a mother, there are plenty of team members in my department who can do my job. But was it necessary for him to say that? When I suggested buying a dishwasher and a clothes dryer, Nicholas told me,
"If you're going to slack off on housework, then quit your job."
"Mama, I'll help you wash the dishes." "Thank you. Then could you please wash the pot and the ladle?" After setting up a step stool for kids, Natalie climbed up and began washing the pot cheerfully. Even a child shows more compassion than Nicholas. While deliberately not looking at Nicholas lounging on the sofa, I resumed washing the dishes. From the beginning, Nicholas had shown little interest in Natalie. Changing diapers, showering her, putting her to sleep, he avoided all of it. Even when she started walking, he barely spoke to her. On weekends, when he lay sprawled on the sofa with nothing to do, he would shoo her away with a wave of his hand. If she begged him to play, he would make an overtly annoyed face when Natalie spoke to him. "Hey, Dad, I have a piano recital coming up. I'm playing Little Bird's Walk. I can play it well." Nicholas raised his voice at Natalie, who had run up to the black upright piano.
"Stop it. It's annoying."
"What's wrong with listening for once?"
"I hate both the piano and kids' voices. They irritate me."
Nicholas glared at the piano with a sullen face.
"Anyway, becoming a pianist is impossible."
"We don't know that. Natalie, you're practicing hard, right?" I hurriedly tried to cover for Nicholas's dream-crushing words. However, Natalie got down from the piano bench with a sad face, took a picture book from the shelf, sat down with her back to us, and spread the book on her lap. Natalie started attending piano lessons last year after being inspired by a live piano performance at a city event. I bought a piano with a silencing function using my salary so she could play comfortably in our apartment. Natalie practiced earnestly every day with headphones on after returning from the child care center. Her hard work was recognized, and she was selected for the next recital. As Nicholas left in his car with his mobile phone, Natalie said sadly, "I wanted Daddy to hear my performance." "Let's have him listen next time." "Oh, let's try the method your teacher taught us. Listening to the recording helps identify parts that aren't played well." Natalie's face lit up instantly. "I remember how to record with the smartwatch." "Then play, and I'll listen." Natalie pressed the recording button on the smartwatch my parents bought for her birthday, placed it on the piano, and started playing. "Wow, you've improved again, Natalie. That's amazing." To my sincere praise, Natalie beamed with happiness. The recital at the end of the month was supposed to be attended together with Nicholas. He seemed reluctant, but when he told Natalie, "Daddy will also come," she practiced even harder than usual. However, on Friday night, Nicholas casually mentioned, "I'm off to Boston for a business trip tomorrow. I'll be back Monday morning." "What?" Natalie was really looking forward to you coming. Is work more important than Natalie's recital?
"Can't help it. It was decided suddenly."
I felt suspicious of Nicholas's grumpy response. Do business trips get decided so last minute? Lately, Nicholas always keeps his mobile phone close, and whenever a call or message comes, he excuses himself saying, "It's work," and moves suspiciously to his study. It's exactly how a cheating person would behave. I want to find evidence, but he's so cautious he sleeps with his mobile phone, leaving no chance to sneak a peek. And so, the day of the piano recital arrived. Natalie, dressed in a pink dress, played her piece perfectly in front of a large audience, and the hall erupted into a big round of applause. Feeling happy, she fell asleep, and the next morning, while I was preparing breakfast in the kitchen, a sleepy Natalie came downstairs from the second floor and spoke to me. "Mama, are we going shopping by bike today?" "Yes, to the shopping street. The roads are too narrow for a car around there." "You better not. You might fall and hurt yourself." I almost laughed. "Natalie, adults don't fall like children do." "But Mama, in my dream, you fell and there was blood on your knee." I stroked her head. insisting seriously, and soothed her. That evening, on my way back from shopping as planned, I turned left on the sidewalk and got startled by a cat that suddenly jumped out, causing me to hastily brake. Then, an onion fell out of my eco bag in the front basket, and as I got distracted by it, I lost my balance and fell off the bike. Ouch! Since I wore a skirt today of all days, my knee was bleeding when I looked at it. Just as Natalie had predicted, I fell and got hurt. When I told Nicholas this story as a joke after he came home from work, he looked at Natalie and me suspiciously.
It's just a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence. I knew it would happen.
Yeah.
Nicholas didn't take us seriously and went to his study with his mobile phone. But Natalie's predictions didn't end there. A few days later, as Nicholas was getting ready for work, Natalie spoke to him. Dad, you better not eat lunch outside.
Why?
A bird will snatch it. It's dangerous.
Ah, yeah, sure.
Nicholas responded nonchalantly and left the house with his bag. That evening, upon returning home, Nicholas called out to Natalie excitedly.
Natalie, your prediction came true. I was eating a sandwich in the park during a sales call, and a crow swooped down and stole it.
Really?
Yeah. They say the birds are aggressive this time of year because they're nesting. Man, it really startled me.
I looked at Natalie in surprise. Did you see it in a dream again? Yeah, see, I was right.
It's amazing for just a coincidence. Even the details are accurate.
Nicholas said, impressed, crossing his arms and nodding. Natalie's dream predictions continued. Drop a handkerchief at the station. The elevator will suddenly stop. The vegetables bought at the supermarket will be spoiled. Buy clothes in the wrong size. Even if I knew about Natalie's predictions in advance, it was hard to prevent them, and honestly, they weren't very helpful. However, Nicholas, who loves paranormal phenomena and often watches TV specials and online videos, was strangely happy that Natalie seemed to have awakened some mysterious power.
Children have keen senses, so there are cases around the world where they see spirits or make predictions. But to think my own child would have such abilities, that's amazing.
Nicholas spoke happily, and Natalie smiled too. For her, it was surely delightful that her father, who had been indifferent to her until now, was actively talking to her and inviting her to watch videos together. I felt relieved to see this positive change, but also felt complicated. Can't Nicholas just love his own daughter Natalie normally? She's so adorable. A few days later, I complained about it to Mary in a cafe, but she dismissed it casually. Nicholas is that kind of person. Family affection, friendship, I don't think Nicholas understands them. Without love, his girlfriend is just for fun. He'd break up once he got bored. I used to think he was cool and attractive, but in the end, I realized he only loves himself. Yeah, a self-loving narcissist. I couldn't see through him before we got married. Oh, Mary, have you decided on a date for your wedding? When the topic shifted to her, Mary smiled a bit shyly. Yeah, you should be getting the invitation soon. Please bring Natalie too, if you can. Really? Natalie loves you, Mary. She'll be thrilled. Then we spent the time chatting about the wedding reception to be held at a hotel, enjoying delicious waffles. 2 months later, on the eve of Mary's wedding, unfortunately, Natalie caught a cold and developed a fever. The next morning, her fever had subsided a bit, but we decided she should skip the wedding. Unable to leave a recovering Natalie alone, I told Nicholas, I'll stay home too, so he was the only one to attend Mary's wedding. Natalie had really been looking forward to seeing Mary in her wedding dress, and I didn't have the heart to comfort her. After Nicholas left for the wedding, I was tidying up the living room when Natalie, who had been napping, came downstairs. Natalie, are you up already? Worried, I spoke to her, and Natalie, with a distant look, muttered, Daddy's airplane is on fire. What? What happened? That's the proof. She pointed at the smartwatch on the living room table. I had no idea what she was talking about and thought Natalie was just half asleep. Confused and thinking Natalie was just groggy from sleep, she asked me, "Mama, did you know Daddy is going to Australia soon?" "What are you talking about? I have no idea."
L794. Flight leaving the airport at 9:45 p.m. He's going with a woman named Charlotte. I saw a dream where that plane was on fire.
"Charlotte? Who is that?"
He said on the phone it's just a business trip to fool Mama.
Natalie picked up the smartwatch and handed it to me.
I secretly recorded a conversation between Daddy and that woman.
"What? You shouldn't do that." While admonishing Natalie, I took the smartwatch and stared at it. After watching Natalie go back to her room, having drunk a glass of water, I sat on the sofa and nervously pressed the play button on the smartwatch. It was hard to hear, but it was definitely Nicholas's voice recorded.
"Ah, I've booked the hotel with the sea view, as you wanted, Charlotte. Let's love each other a lot."
I couldn't believe my ears. Unaware he was being recorded, Nicholas continued to talk in a flirtatious manner.
"Yeah, I want to be with you soon, too. But my wife won't agree to a divorce. Sorry for making you wait for 2 years. The only one I love is you."
His conclusive words left me breathless. Trying to contain my anger, I checked the rest of the conversation. Then, the infuriating truth came out. All his recent business trips were actually rendezvous with his mistress. It was unforgivable, especially the fact that he chose a trip with his mistress over Natalie's piano recital day. I was furiously angry. Prioritizing a trip with his mistress over Natalie's recital? Is he even a father? My head was in turmoil with disappointment and anger. A fierce anger surged within me, heating my body. "Fine, then I'll give you a divorce, but you'll pay dearly for betraying me and Natalie." When I messaged Mary about this after her honeymoon, she replied, "Again?" and called me back immediately. In our student days, she had witnessed Nicholas cheating and getting into arguments with his girlfriend several times. I can forgive him for betraying me, but not Natalie. Divorce is certain, but I want to teach him a lesson first. "Right, how about we do this?" I smirked at Mary's plan. As the month drew to a close, Nicholas informed me,
"I'm heading to Australia the day after tomorrow."
I involuntarily glanced at Natalie, who was reading a picture book in the living room. "Another business trip. You've been having a lot of those lately."
"Everyone's counting on me. Being away for 5 days is tough,"
Nicholas said with a smile, lying. Natalie, who had quietly approached us, asked Nicholas,
Daddy, are you going to Australia?
"Yeah, I'm flying on flight JR724.
That plane's going to catch fire."
Startled by Natalie's casual remark, Nicholas made a surprised face.
"Did you see it in a dream again? Man, maybe I should cancel and change flights. I need to call her."
"Her?"
"A colleague who's coming with me. I'll make a call."
Nicholas hurried upstairs, leaving Natalie looking worriedly at his back. A month after the wedding, a dinner party with Nicholas's family and relatives was held, as suggested by Mary. It was held at the same hotel's restaurant rented out by Mary for Natalie, who had missed the wedding due to a fever. Fully recovered, Natalie wore the pink dress she was supposed to wear at the wedding, curled her long hair, and carried her favorite bag adorned with beads, looking utterly pleased. Nicholas's relatives were all familiar faces from our wedding. However, there was one young woman I didn't recognize, occasionally glancing at Nicholas. Next to me, Nicholas stiffened and deliberately avoided looking at her. Perplexed, I was kindly informed by Katrina. "That's Charlotte, Nicholas's childhood friend. She's always admired Nicholas like family. That's why she's invited today." "Is that so?" "She believes she would marry Nicholas, but it's a shame he chose someone like you." I didn't care about Katrina's snide remarks. Instead, I did my best to hide my surprise. What shocked me was Charlotte's presence, a childhood friend I had heard about from Mary, but hadn't expected Katrina to invite to the dinner. Katrina must not know Nicholas is cheating. She hates anything that goes against societal norms. If the person herself is here, then it's perfect. I smirked nastily beside Nicholas, who was making a visible effort to ignore Charlotte. After a while, Charlotte approached our table. Ava, nice to meet you. I'm Charlotte, Nick's childhood friend. She slurred her words, sizing up me and Natalie. Nick, why didn't you introduce me? I couldn't wait and came over.
Sorry, I was just focusing on eating. Eva, Natalie, this is Charlotte. We lived nearby when we were kids. I adored her like a little sister.
Nicholas introduced himself with a strained smile, and Charlotte looked displeased. Her aloof attitude seemed to bother her. I sipped my wine, casually observing the woman. Probably in her early 20s, she was stylish and attractive. Natalie, right? Hello. You're just as cute as your dad.
Hello.
Wow, even your voice is cute. Wouldn't you like to be my daughter?
Charlotte, you've had too much to drink.
Is that so? Then, Nick, you should take care of me as usual.
Just like old times, right?
Nicholas let out a dry laugh, his face dripping with sweat. After finishing my glass of wine, I put on a smile and spoke to Charlotte. Nice to meet you, Charlotte. It seems Nicholas is always in your debt.
Eva, that's all in the past. We both have partners now.
Yes, I hear Charlotte has a husband. But you two are in love, aren't you, Nicholas?
What are you talking about?
Nicholas' flustered reaction was almost pitiable to watch. Then Natalie stood up and showed us her smartwatch.
Mama? Okay.
After confirming my nod, she pressed the playback button.
I love you, Charlotte.
Suddenly, Nicholas's voice echoed throughout the venue, and he spit out his beer in shock.
What the? Stop it now, Natalie.
In a panic, Nicholas tried to take the smartwatch from Natalie, but unable to figure out how to stop it, his conversation with Charlotte continued to play loudly.
I can't wait to be in bed with you, Charlotte. Young women are the best, so soft to touch. I'm being pressured by my mom for an heir, but no way am I doing that with my nearly 30-year-old wife. Yeah, my wife neglects the kids. I do all the housework and childcare. I'm what you call a real supportive father.
The venue fell silent for a moment before starting to buzz. Nicholas's parents blushed under the cold stares of the relatives looking down in shame. Charlotte, now sobered up, looked down at Nicholas in disbelief.
It's not what it looks like. This is...
Nicholas's voice trailed off, and Natalie yelled out,
Liar, Daddy!
What? What are you talking about?
Natalie, her face red with anger, quickly accused Nicholas.
It's Daddy who neglects Natalie. Mama works too, but she does everything at home. Daddy doesn't even pick up his own socks. Why lie?
No,
Natalie's voice filled the venue, exposing Nicholas's behavior.
Mama always plays with Natalie. We take showers together, read books, and she sleeps with me. She helps me practice piano. But Daddy just plays games at home and gets mad if I talk to him.
That's right. And while we're at it, I never heard about any divorce talk. I wish you'd stop making things up. I joined in scolding Nicholas, and his expression turned to one of rage. He slammed his fist down on the table.
Shut up! Be quiet! A daughter shouldn't talk back to her father. Your mother's upbringing is flawed. Hey, Eva, I, a prestigious university graduate, married you, a junior college graduate. You should be more grateful. Isn't it a wife's duty to take care of her husband?
Nicholas ranted, spitting, and then glared at Natalie.
Remember this, Natalie. One day you'll be taking care of me.
Ew, no. Why should I take care of Daddy when he never plays with me?
Natalie's retort made me burst out laughing. And Nicholas, in his agitation, turned to Charlotte for support.
See, Charlotte, this is what my wife and daughter are like. You understand why I'm fed up, right?
Well, I've had enough too. Let's break up.
Exactly. Wait, what?
You're all lies. Charlotte expressed her anger and dissatisfaction. You complained about a lazy wife, but Natalie says otherwise, and you weren't even discussing divorce. Plus, you said you liked kids, but you actually hate them, don't you? Nick, this is your true nature. I can't believe you anymore. Nicholas was thrown into disarray. His confident demeanor changed completely, his face showing a pathetic expression.
Charlotte, it's not like that. Listen to me.
I can't stand your male chauvinism. I'm not into that. Find someone else.
But you're the only one for me.
Looking at Nicholas with a disgusted face, Charlotte grabbed her bag and left the venue. I seized the moment to have my say with the stunned Nicholas. I've been putting up with this because Natalie is still young and needs her dad, but I've had enough. We'll get divorced, but make sure you pay the compensation and child support. Nicholas, who had been staring at the door Charlotte left through, turned to me with a look of disbelief.
You're serious about divorcing?
Well, Nicholas, you don't need me and Natalie, right? From now on, you can enjoy your time with young girls. I'll take care of Natalie.
Hey, you're joking, right? How will you survive as a single mother?
With a sneer, Nicholas looked at me and Natalie.
You two can't live without me. If you retract your statement now, I'll forget all about your arrogant attitude and harsh words. Apologize now, and I'll pretend none of this ever happened.
I was utterly disgusted with Nicholas's arrogance. Does he even see reality? Listen, the one who can't manage without us is you. Nicholas, you're far more of a handful than 6-year-old Natalie. From now on, you better take care of yourself. I stood up, apologized deeply to Mary, Nicholas, and the relatives. I'm sorry for causing a scene. I'll be leaving first. Nicholas and his parents, being the hosts, couldn't just leave. They had to endure sarcastic comments from relatives and spend the rest of the meal in awkwardness. It must be tough for them, always so concerned about appearances. Well, according to Katrina, Natalie and I are not really part of the family, so it doesn't matter to us. I left the venue with Natalie, feeling liberated. When Nicholas returned from the dinner, I handed him the divorce papers. Make sure to fill these out. We'll settle the amount for compensation and child support through the lawyers later. And this apartment, since I bought it before we were married, you'll need to move out soon. Nicholas looked like he wanted to argue, but signed the divorce papers without further fuss. Realizing that arguing was futile, he agreed to the amount proposed by the lawyer and transferred it from his savings. Our divorce was finalized. Afterward, Nicholas was labeled as a liar by his affair partner and dumped. He faced backlash from his relatives and parents, and in a fit of defiance, ended up being disowned by them. Also, rumors of the divorce due to his infidelity spread quickly at his workplace, leading to his resignation. Thinking he could easily find a job in his desired field, Nicholas was repeatedly rejected for full-time sales positions and resorted to juggling part-time jobs. He's working from morning till night, scolded by a younger female manager, his pride crushed. Now he lives alone in a small old apartment. I sold the apartment and moved near my parents' home with Natalie, living a peaceful life. Without the troublesome and arrogant husband, I found more peace of mind, and Natalie smiles more than before. I was worried Natalie might miss Nicholas, but she seems indifferent to an uninvolved father, hardly mentioning Dad. I should have done this sooner. If Natalie ever wants to see him, I'm willing to contact Nicholas. Interestingly, Natalie's prophetic dreams disappeared after the divorce. Perhaps our troubled marriage had been causing her anxiety, leading to such a phenomena. I still meet Mary regularly, and she humorously updates me on Nicholas's condition and the scolding his parents received from relatives over the infidelity. Natalie started elementary school this spring. She returns home earlier than when she was at the child care center, so my parents look after her when I work late. Natalie has been visiting my parents since she was little and is very attached to them, and they adore their only grandchild. Moving forward, I plan to raise Natalie with care, relying on my parents' support when necessary.